What's going on, guys? It's Mike Glassby here with Military CashFlow. Now, I get this question a lot, and I really just wanted to share this with you guys. Many people say, hey, if I have all my money in a bank, isn't that better than investing, or isn't that just as good? Isn't that considered financial literacy? I'm a big time saver, so I should be good to go. Well, let me put it like this, guys. I just want to break it down exactly what it means to have your money into a bank. And none of this is like a conspiracy theory, right? You can actually run the numbers and see for yourself what's going on. So, as you put money into a bank, it's just a holding tank essentially, right? And in this holding tank, the bank is paying you interest because they're saying, hey, thank you for leaving your money here. We're going to pay you a little bit of interest on your money. Most of the time, it's significantly less than 1%, right? A high yield bank is maybe considered 1.5% interest rate. So think about that. If you had $100 in the bank, 1% annually would mean that you'd get $1, right, on that $100. Now, some people may think that that's good, and there's nothing wrong with that, right? I'm not saying that it's bad, but think about this. The value of the dollar goes down every year. Again, not conspiracy, it's facts. Think about it like this. Everybody heard the stories of when grandparents, and maybe some of you guys might actually been from that generation, where you could go to the movie theaters and buy popcorn, candies, and sodas, and all this other stuff for 10 cents. And the movie ticket, all for 10 cents. And now what can we get with 10 cents? Nothing. I can't get nothing. I can't even get a cup of lemonade. That little 5-year-old girl would cuss me out if I tried to give her 10 cents for a cup of lemonade, right? And it's not just because times have changed. It's because the value of our money truly has gone down. We also call this inflation, okay? And you can check what the inflation rate is over all the past years. And on average, it fluctuates somewhere between that high 1% to 2% and 3% every year, on average, right? So let's just call it 2%, just for the sake of this conversation. If you put your money in the bank, let's use that same $100, and that bank gave you 1% interest. That's pretty high yielding bank. They gave you 1% interest. That means they give you $1. But the value of the dollar, the inflation rate, was 2% that year. That means you actually lost $2. So if you gain $1, but you lose $2, what's your net income? That means you lost an overall dollar for that year. Now imagine that on a much larger scale, okay? $10,000 you guys got saved up. $20,000 you guys got saved up. $50,000 you guys got saved up. That's losing an extra percent every year it's sitting in the bank. Okay? That's the importance of understanding what your money is doing. Now, on the flip side, yes, we all say that you have to invest if you truly want to preserve your capital. Now, there's many ways to invest. Obviously, for those who know me, I love real estate. Me and my team is all about some real estate. But you do have stocks and bonds, mutual funds, treasury bonds. I mean, cars, if you're really into that, businesses, collectibles, paintings and artwork. It's endless. It's endless. But the point is you have to understand what your money is currently doing for you before you could ever truly design a path or create a plan to invest your money properly so it can grow. Now, people say, why do I want it to grow? Right? Hey, I'm putting all my money into this 401k. Let me ask you this. A lot of people will put money into their 401k or into an IRA, Roth IRA, or whatever the case may be, with Fidelity, Vanguard, doesn't matter. And as that money sits in there, it's basically held in what's called a brokerage account. It's held in that account. Well, that account, for all intents and purposes, is just another savings account. It doesn't do anything. It might collect interest, but it doesn't do anything. Just because you put your money there does not mean it's invested. Okay? For those in the military, that's very similar to the TSP, the Thrift Savings Plan. All the federal and military servicemen and women, you guys understand this. Think about it like the G Fund. If you have your money sitting in the G Fund, that's essentially the brokerage account. It's not doing anything. You have to actually choose an investment vehicle to put that money into. And that can be a mutual fund. It can be, for the TSP's sake, the S fund, the I fund, the F fund, right? Those are index funds that you're investing in. Same thing with your brokerage account. Now, if you say, hey, let's do the S&P 500, that's solid advice. And I'm not saying that it's not, but I'm going to ask you another thing. What companies are in the S&P 500? Can you name them? If you can't, then how do you know it's a good investment? Is it just because somebody else told you? Right? You see my point? Now, obviously, I can sit here and tell you what's a strong investment. I can tell you why I like real estate, but I have no idea what the right investment for you is. It's very important for you to identify your own criteria, for you to identify what your own end goal is, and then for you to do your research. You can trust an advisor to guide you in the right direction and point you in the right direction. You can trust a consultant. You can trust an investor. You can trust, right? But it's always on you to do your own due diligence and truly understand what that means. Where's that money going? And what is my money doing for me? So that was just a quick conversation, guys, to really highlight the point of financial literacy. Why is it so important, right? Because ultimately, who's to blame that you're not aware of your finances or that you don't understand money, right? It's you. It is you. A lot of us are going to say that it's our parents. And I was right there. My parents didn't teach me much about money. Most parents just have the idea, the concept of money wrong. They say, save your money, put it in the bank. But they have no idea that the bank is really losing value of your money over time. Most people don't understand that concept, right? So now what if I told you, you can take this challenge on yourself. You can start studying money, studying the tool of money, because that's truly what money is. It's just a tool. If you know how to wield a table saw, right? You're skilled at a table saw, you're going to be able to do a lot more work than a guy or a kindergartner who's just picking. Please don't give your kindergartner a table saw, but you get my point, right? An amateur with it is not going to be able to do anything or nowhere near the amount of work that an expert could. So you need to treat money like a tool, and you need to become the expert. And not just for you, but for your kids, right? For your grandkids, for your nieces and nephews, for those of us who don't have kids. For any of that generational wealth, you can do great things and build all this creative businesses and build this entire investment portfolio. But when your time is done, if you haven't actually passed on the knowledge of managing this money, of managing these assets, of managing this business, it's all gone. It's all for naught. So again, that is why financial literacy is so important. All right, and I stress that so much, guys. It's completely up to you. You have to be motivated to do it. But I hope this quick little video at least highlighted the importance of it. Maybe I dropped something that you didn't know. Maybe you didn't know that your savings is losing money. And again, not a conspiracy. Go check it out. Do the math. Google inflation rate and Google what your bank's interest rate is. And do the math. All right. After that, whatever y'all do with it, y'all do with it. There's so many different resources out there for financial literacy. Obviously, you guys can check out our podcast, the Military CashFlow. You can check out our YouTube channel. That's there, but there are an abundance. It's outstanding. It's overwhelming, right? But all you have to do is actually go out and look for it. Go out and look for it and take responsibility today to work on your knowledge, your financial literacy, so you can pass it on to the next generation. All right? And with that, guys, it's Mike Glassby signing out.